It's red? Okay, so, shalom everyone. I think the last thing that we learned, we quoted the Shulchan Aruch, saying that a person should be careful not to drink from a cup and to give it to someone else to drink. Right? He says it's a sakanat nafashot, it's a danger of life, because the other person would be embarrassed and is going to be forced to drink, and he might be quite sensitive, and this could hurt the person who is drinking, so much so it could be a fatal thing. So Shulchan Aruch says that a person shouldn't do it. Therefore, one should be careful not to give the cup to someone, a guest, or whoever it is, to drink from it. Just pour it into a different cup and have him drink, unless it's family. Once it's family, everybody's together, everybody knows each other, they're not scared, shalom. So they're not scared of drinking from the other person. It's not a thing, therefore it would be mutar. Okay, that was the last thing that we learned, just to catch up. If a person that made Kidush spoke between the Kidush and the drinking of the cup, must go back and make a baracha bor Pnei Gefen. Just a bor Pnei Gefen, not Kidush itself, because this is a hefsek. The talking, the speaking, is a hefsek between the baracha bor Pnei Gefen and the drinking, and he has to go back and make bor Pnei Gefen again. However, if the other people spoke, okay, they didn't drink, they spoke, they were yotzeh. They've done the mitzvah of Kiddush, they don't have to drink. If they want to drink, they would have to make a baracha of bor Pnei Gefen. Right? That would be sometimes the person doesn't know, or whatever the case may be, and they spoke, so that's fine. The way you said, they don't have to drink it, like we said before. It's a good thing to drink it. It's a refuah, but it doesn't have to drink. Therefore, if they want to drink, they would have to make a baracha. If we cannot get wine for Kiddush, okay, this is Friday night, and they're living in a place, they're stuck in a place, they went away somewhere, and they cannot get wine or grape juice for Kiddush. What should one do? In that case, you make Kiddush on bread, on challah. Right? What you do is you wash your hand, you dry your hands, then you take the two loaves of bread in your hand. You say Yom HaShishi ve'echol hashamayim ba'aretz, and you don't say Baruch Pnei Gefen, of course. You say Hamotzi lachem min haaretz, and then you say Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu v'sotah v'lasavanu v'shavah kodshu ba'avar v'son yachatanu v'yefilanu. Right? You say Kiddush, and then you rip the bread up and you eat.
So you say Hamotzi first and then Kiddush?
You say, of course, just like the Hamotzi takes over for Baruch Pnei Gefen. You don't have
so you wouldn't
wine.
Say Kiddush first and then Hamotzi and then...
No. Just like Kiddush, regular Kiddush, what do? You say Bor Pnei Gefen, and then you make Kiddush. Same thing here. You say Vayechulu first, and then you say Hamotzi lachem min haaretz, and then you say Kiddush. If you remember last time, we said that we say Yom HaShishi, Vayechulu hashamayim ba'aretz v'chol tzava'am, because in Vayechulu there is 35 words. In the Baracha of Kiddush, there is 35 words. We add Yom HaShishi to get the number 72. There's a reason for number 72, because number 72 adds up to Hashem's name when you write Yud Ke Vav Ke with a He. That means Yud Vav Dalet, that's 20. He Yud is 15, that's 35. Vav Yud Vav, that's Vav. That is how much? Would be 45 plus another 12, that's 57. And then you have another 15. What does that give us? 57, another 50, 57 plus 15 is 72. That's Hashem's name, Yud Ke Vav Ke. When you write it out full, not Yud alone. Yud is written Yud Vav Dalet. Like, you write it out full. The gematria, the numerical value is 72. That's mentioned in Kidush. This is written in the books of Kabbalah. Kaf HaChaim brings it down. So this is what we do. So you still have that. You still have Yom HaShishi v'Chol HaShemayim and you have the beracha of Kidush. Some Ashkenazi Sidurim, their nusach of Kidush is a little bit different. It's not 35 words. And the Ariyah Kadosh was like, they're making a mistake. It should have 35 words. It should not be written like this. It should not be said like this. So I'm sure you'd say that they do the mitzvah of Kiddush, but Kabbalistically, it has to be like this. They say, Kibanu b'chartem kol ha'amim v'otanu kidashta. They add a few words, and the Ari was not very happy about it. But this is what we have. So if a person, yes?
So if you don't have wine or grape juice, the first thing you should put is the hamotzi or like another drink?
No. At night, we do this. At night we do this. In the morning, we're going to get to it as Hashem. If a person doesn't have, then the first thing he does is to find a drink. We'll get to that. But
so at night, hamotzi takes precedence over any other drink?
I'll tell you. In fact, the Gemara says, one of the Chachamim says, it's a preference. If someone doesn't like wine, even if you have wine, he says, you like bread more, then make Kiddush on bread. It's like that. That means it's like in par with wine. The custom is, and the halacha is that the Shulchan Aruch brings down, that we use wine for Kiddush. I'll tell you something else. Germans, did you know that Germans have a custom? It's a little different. The Germans, what they do is, they wash their hand, they do alef netedayim, and then they sit down, they make Kiddush on wine, and right away they say hamotzi, and they eat. It's not this. They don't make Kiddush on bread per se. They make Kiddush on wine, but they incorporate everything. First they do Netilat Yadayim, then they make Kiddush, then they make Hamatzi, and they eat.
Why don't we do like the whole purpose is to say Kidush and also the whole purpose is to say the Hamotzi, that's why we cover it so as to not to embarrass him. So why don't from the beginning we just say Kidush on the Challah and forgo the wine altogether?
So, very good question. So, as we said, I think it was Rav in the Gemara that said that if a person prefers bread, just do bread, and then that goes like you. However, wine is a very, very important component in Jewish life. You know, we bring wine on korbanot. Every time they bring an offering in the Beit HaMikdash, we use wine. We say Bor Perei Gefen by weddings, by Pidyon Haben, by Beit Milah, and obviously by Kiddush. So, wine has it's the only grape is the only fruit that the juice contained within it is that important. That's why it gets its own beracha. Because of that, halachically we prefer to use wine. That's why we do it.
Okay.
All right. We mentioned last time. We're going to talk about. I think last time we talked about 100 brachot. Did we talk about that? 100 brachot. To make sure that we say 100 brachot. Didn't talk about that. So strange. How could that be? I'll see. If I'm going to talk about it later, I'm going to talk about it now. But if I'm not going to talk about it later, I'm going to talk about it later. But, okay, I was under the impression that we did talk about it. So anyway, I'm just going to touch on it. We have to make 100 brachot. So in order to do that, one of the ways is an old custom. Many people had it, and a lot of people stopped it, that they would make brachot right after Kiddush. They would make a bracha on a few things. Making mezonot, ha'etz, ha'adama, shehakol, in order to make up, because on Shabbat we won't succeed at the 100 brachot. So now, what should they do? Some people, they make shehakol, let's say, on fish. Fish is a problem. Fish is something that comes during the meal. And if you make a bracha on it now, right, it might be a redundant bracha, because this is going to be part of your meal, so you shouldn't make a bracha on fish. So the best thing to do is to pick things. Or salads. Salads, you're going to eat it during the meal. You're going to make a beracha on it now. Best thing is to pick things small, very tiny, very small, like a chocolate chip, small chocolate chip. You make a shehakol. Small piece of cookie, you make a mezonot, or a slither of almond. You can make a ha'etz. What I'm talking about? These sort of things, they don't usually come as part of the salad, part of the meal, and they're perfect. They're small, tiny, and trust me, with one chocolate chip and one slither of almond or whatever it is, these tiny things, you're not gonna be a question. Oh, should I make a borei nefashot on it? Should I not make a borei nefashot? And it's perfect. You just gained 4 barachot right there. Okay, so that's the best thing to do. That a person should try. Should try to do it. This way you gain a few barachot added to this, and all the blessings upon us. Yes.
So let's say you eat some things. Could you have in mind that instead of saying more in a hashot, at the end you're going to bench anyway because you're going to have bread, and that'll cover all the...
This is exactly what we do. If a person by mistake ate more than he should have, we tell him, listen, don't say borei nefashot, because now you've put yourself... No. Now he's put himself intentionally or unintentionally in a quandary, in a safek, in a state of, should I make it after baracha, or should I not make it after baracha? Because anyway, I'm going to say birkat hamazon. So it's a safek. He placed himself in a safek. Actually, machloket, an argument between poskin. Should you make it? Some say he should make it borei nefashot if you ate enough. Some say no. So a person shouldn't place himself in this type of a situation. That's why we should eat a little. If you have a guest that you know, oh boy, put the food in front of him, just gonna non-stop eat, then don't do it, right? Or just tell him, get up, go, let's go wash, and then eat as much as you like. Things like that. That's what we should try to do. Yes.
What would be wrong with doing that? Wouldn't that be better because you're making more brachot?
No, we can't. It's a safek. We try not to bring ourselves into a situation where you're going to be in a doubt. Maybe you shouldn't make a bracha. According to some people, you should not make a bracha. And this would be a redundant bracha. After bracha. Borei nefashot. Is that what you're talking about?
So let's say you eat a certain amount of chocolate chips that you have to say borei nefashot.
Right. Let's say you ate 1 ounce
okay.
of the chocolate chips. Then you don't make a bracha after bracha still. Because it's a safek. Maybe you shouldn't make it.
Why? But you make that, and then that's like open, close, and then next thing you make hamotzi for whatever you're having next.
Being that you're about to wash and start a meal, it wouldn't be recommended to do it. Again, because of this situation that we just mentioned. Doing this will place you, because some poskim say, don't make a bracha. So according to them, we're in trouble, right? I shouldn't make a bracha achrona. And then the others say, you should make a bracha achrona. So what should you do? You're pulled from both ends. So best thing, to play it safe. That's what poskim bring down. A person should play it safe and not eat enough. The same thing happens by the night of Pesach, as we mentioned before. The celery, they say take small pieces so that you won't put yourself in this situation where, okay, now do I make I ate an ounce of celery, dipped it in the vinegar or in the whatever, I ate an ounce. Should I make it after bracha or not? It's okay. If a person made a bracha on wine, okay, and make Kidush, and now he wants to drink water, he wants to drink fruit juice, whatever it is, should they make a bracha on it or not? No, because the halacha is that bracha of wine is an extremely important bracha, and borei gefen covers everything else. It has that importance, and it will cover every other drink. So let's say someone wants to, he was very thirsty, he couldn't wait until they make Kidush. As soon as he makes Kidush, he wants to drink, right? So it depends. If you drank from the wine, then you don't make a bracha on that drink. But if you didn't drink from the wine, then make a bracha. Again. No. The person that make Kiddush, forget it. It doesn't make a bracha on the drink. Others that were around the table and they listened to Kiddush, if they drank from the wine, then they don't make a bracha on the drink. If they didn't drink from the wine, then they do make a bracha on the drink. So this happens in shul. They make Kiddush. Everybody has grape juice, right? Most people drink a little bit from the grape juice. And now they want to drink whatever they have, whatever Seuda, whatever it is that they have on the table. They're thirsty, they want to drink. A lot of them make a mistake and they make a bracha on it. But you can't, because you already drank the grape juice, and that grape juice covered whatever drink is on the table. Okay? So, If they want to gain a bracha, don't drink from the grape juice. And then you gain another bracha right there. Right. Good. Any questions on this so far? We are entering the realm of...
One quick question.
Yes.
Is 1 ounce the minimum amount you need to say an after bracha?
Correct.
1 ounce of any.
Less than 1 ounce, there is no... Unless it's a drink. A drink is revi'it.
But for food?
For food, yes. 1 ounce. Okay, that's 27 grams. Some say it's 18 grams, so a person shouldn't put himself in a place of a doubt and either eat less than 18 grams or eat 27 grams. If we go by weight. All right. The Navi says, "V'karata leShabbat oneg." Right? That's a pasuk that we say by Kidush in the morning. V'karata leShabbat, you shall call upon Shabbat that it should be a pleasure. Right? It's a pasuk in Yeshaya. Yeshaya 57, 56, 58. Yeshaya Perik Nunchet, Noah. That's a good way to remember, Noah. So it says, "V'karate l'Shabbat oneg, likdosh Hashem mechubad." So Chachamim say, "V'karate l'Shabbat," you're calling out to Shabbat, that means Kidush, right? Oneg, it should be in a place where you're going to have oneg, you're going to have pleasure, which means the Seuda. So therefore, the Kiddush that you're making on Shabbat should be in a place where you will be eating your meal, right? That's the same halacha is for the night, the same halacha is for the day. Therefore, if a person is making Kiddush in one place, and he's going to eat his meal at a different place, or he's going to hear Kiddush in one place, and he's going to eat at a different place, he was not Yotzeh the mitzvah of Kiddush. Because the Kiddush has to be done in a place where you're going to be eating the meal. Okay? The person thinks, okay, I heard Kiddush already in Shul, and then he goes home to eat. He says, I already did the mitzvah of Kiddush, I don't have to, let's just wash. It's wrong. Unless you had a Seuda where you heard Kiddush. That's the idea why they serve cake. Right? So that Seuda that we say that the Kiddush has to be in a place of Seuda, it doesn't really have to be bread. It could be cake. Person eats enough cake, that is a Kiddush. Bimkom Seuda, you just make Kiddush in a place of Seuda. Or, let's say he doesn't want to have cake. He says, no, I'm going to get fat. What could he do? He could drink a revi'it, 3 ounces of grape juice, wine, whatever it is. With that, he is Yotzeh the mitzvah of Kiddush, Bimkom Seuda. If it's enough, yeah. If there's enough barley in that cholent that he's eating, that's also good, right? Or he eats a kugel made out of lakshan kugel, right? Or what else? Spaghetti.
So what if someone goes to shul and they have some of the Kiddush and they eat a piece of cake? Then when they come home, is that going to be Seuda Shlishit?
Oh, very good. Well, Seuda Shlishit could only be eaten after Chatzot, after Mincha Gedolah. That's about half hour after Chatzot. So, you know what? At the rate these shuls go, yes, you know, they ate something here, and then they go home and they eat, they wash and eat. They could, if you want to, they could consider that Seuda Shlishit.
Only if it's after Chatzot.
Only if it's a half hour after Chatzot, yeah. Which many times it is, especially in the winter. Shul ends 11:30. That's already Chatzot. By the time you get home, it's like 12:30. For sure, it could be considered with the Shlishit.
But if it wasn't Chatzot yet, so you come home, you do Kiddush all over again, and you make a Seuda.
Yeah.
So what is it considered?
That's a Seuda Shaniya. Real Seuda
Two
Shaniya is
Seudas.
better than the Seuda is on bread, with bread. Right. It makes a difference. It makes a difference in the Retzeva Achalitzenu. We're going to talk about it. If a person forgot to say Retzeva Achalitzenu, in Seuda Shishit, if you forget, you don't have to go back. In the second Seuda, if you didn't say Retzeva Achalitzenu, you do have to go back. So if you consider this Seuda Shishit, then you don't have to go back. The one you eat at home after Chatzot. Yep. It makes a difference. But let's get back to Kidush Kum Seuda. So the Kidush Kum Seuda, so you could do it either by eating a cake, by drinking a revi'it of wine or grape juice, by eating food made out of pasta or enough cholent, like, you know. I'm not so sure if a bowl of cholent will contain 27 grams of barley. I'm not sure. It depends. If it's what Hungarian cholent, I think has more barley than Polish. Polish has got more potatoes. It depends on the class of the cholent. Okay, so in that case, if he did that, if after Kiddush he ate that, then you could go ahead and have a Seuda elsewhere without having to make Kiddush. Why? Because these things, the wine or the pasta or the cake, they fill you up. They give you strength. They satisfy you. But if you just eat like some watermelon, some fruit, that doesn't do it. Even rice doesn't. Let's say a person, they make Kiddush and they had rice. They had a whole plate of rice. That's not Kiddush Makom Seuda. That's not going to cut it. And a person is not used to the mitzvah of Kiddush Makom Seuda, and wherever it is, if he wants to eat, he would have to make Kiddush. However, being that the Kiddush, so I'm talking about at night right now. Okay, at night it's all Kiddush and everything. During the day, same halacha applies, but during the day, being that the Kiddush is only Borei Peri Gefen, some poskim say it's better that a person should just, before the meal, say Borei Peri Gefen. We'll get to that, but right now we're talking about overall. This Seuda that we're talking about, that we say Kiddush b'makom Seuda, that the Kiddush has to be in a place of Seuda, the Seuda has to be right away. As soon as you make Kiddush, have the Seuda. Some people, I can't say a lot of people, some people, they make Kiddush, and they say, so how are you? They all go sit by the couch. And why? Because they're not hungry yet. Whatever, the day is a short day, they just had a heavy lunch for some reason, and they're not hungry yet, so they just want to sit around and schmooze. That's not good, because that's not Kiddush. B'makom Seuda, the Seuda is not happening right now. So let's say if they really intend on eating a little bit later, or they're waiting for guests. They're waiting for their guests to come, and they make Kiddush. They say, okay, when the guests come, they'll make Kiddush and we'll have the meal. Not good. If you're very hungry, make Kiddush, have a little cake, have whatever it is, make it a Kiddush b'makom Seuda. And when your guests will come, let them eat as well, make Kiddush and then start the meal then. Or if you're not really hungry at all, then wait until later when you actually want to eat the meal. Make it Kiddush connected to the Seuda. What is the cutoff line? How long should it pass between the Kiddush and the Seuda, and then it's considered you have to make Kiddush again? 72 minutes, right? Because 72 minutes is the time that it takes for the food to digest, to be digested. So if 72 minutes pass, so then by then the whole pleasure of the wine is gone, and therefore you would have to make Kiddush again.
This is for night and day?
Yeah. Okay? For night and day, both. So if that amount of time passed, you would have to make Kiddush again in order to be Yoseh Kiddush b'makom Seuda. Now, once a person made Kiddush, he shouldn't leave the house. Okay? Because Kiddush b'makom Seuda. Right? And let's say he made Kiddush, and he went out. He went out to take care of something or whatever, and it took a while. He was out for a half hour. Right? So then, and when he made Kiddush, he didn't drink. That's in the parentheses, right? He made Kiddush, he didn't drink a revi'it of the Kiddush. Then he hadn't made the Kiddush b'makom Seuda. He drank a little bit, gulp. It wasn't enough for a revi'it. And then he went out to see someone, to talk to someone, whatever it is, to take care of some issue outside. Comes back in, he has to make Kiddush again. Because he left the house. Leaving the house becomes a hefsek. Right? However, if when he left a few people, they were sitting around the table, he just stepped out to take care of something. So we say he does not have to go back and make Kiddush all over again, because they kept him the place of the Seuda. That was Kiddush b'makom Seuda, and they're still here, they're still waiting around for him. That is fine. He doesn't have to repeat Kiddush. Or he left just for a second. He went to wash his hands. There's no water in the house, right? Problem. He went to a neighbor's house to wash his hands and comes right back. Or he's in the sukkah. He made Kiddush in the sukkah. He goes home to wash his hands and come back in. That's not a problem. That's still considered Kiddush b'makom Seuda, and he does not have to repeat Kiddush again. Right?
So it's only a problem with what?
It's a problem of time. You mean leaving the house,
yeah.
Right? Leaving the house, it depends. If it's for a short time, that's fine. If he has people sitting around the table, that's also fine because they kept his Seuda in place. So it was a Kidush Makom Seuda, and he returned. Let's say 20 minutes, half hour he was out. Still, there were people sitting around. They were talking. They were waiting for him. As long as it's not a 72-minute problem, then we're fine. The best thing is, again, not to leave the house. Leaving the house it causes problems.
When you go to back to Sukkah, do you say Netilat in the Sukkah, or you say it at the sink while you're drying your hands?
Halachically, really, you could make it at the sink also, right? Some poskim say that a person should see the place where he's eating. So as long as he sees the place where he's eating, that's fine. Some poskim say that no, you should make the beracha where you're eating, come into that room and make the beracha. But really, halachically, even if he doesn't,
you don't do that at a dining room and kitchen also.
Some people do. Those people that are careful with that, they come to the dining room and they make that into dying. But that it's a differences of opinion. Really, halachically, you could make it in the kitchen even if you don't see it. Right. If a person made Kiddush, didn't drink a revi'it of wine, or he heard Kiddush from someone else, and didn't drink the wine, and he doesn't have to, right? Doesn't have to drink it. Now he went to a different house, right? He went to his neighbor's house. But from the neighbor's house, he could see his original place where he made Kiddush. Follow? His next door neighbor, whatever it is, next apartment, whatever it is, wherever it is, or he went to the backyard. He made Kiddush at home. He says, oh man, it's too hot. Let's eat in the backyard, right? And from the backyard, he could see the living room where you make Kiddush. He's Yotzeh. We say that this is Kiddush Makom Seuda, but that's not a lechatchila thing to do. It's not a lechatchila. If you want to do this from the beginning, go outside, make Kiddush, b'makom Seuda, in the place of Seuda, and then eat your meal there as well. We're talking about something that just happened suddenly, he made that decision. That's fine. He doesn't have to repeat Kiddush again. But it's not something to do lechatchila to change his place like this. Now, for sure, the best thing to do is not to make Kiddush, right? Even if you have in mind, I'm going to make Kiddush right here, and then I'm going to go to my mom's house for the meal, right? A person shouldn't do that lechatchila, unless he does what we said in the beginning. He eats a seuda, eats some cake, eats some pasta, or eats or drinks enough grape juice or wine, then fine. Make Kiddush here, done. You have a little bit of Seuda, pseudo Seuda, and then go to their house, have the meal. That he could do. But to have in mind from the beginning, that's what I'm going to do, lechatchila, that means that if you want to do the best thing, it's not a good idea. The person shouldn't do it, right? Okay. Now, however, let's say, so this is leaving from house to house. But if he's going to remain in the same house, like you mentioned before, remain in the same house, he's just going to go to a different room. There is better light in the other room, or there is better air. Let's say he wants to go to the patio. From here, he wants to go to the patio, right? Then he could do it. Again, as long as he could see the original place where he made Kiddush. So two conditions. You should be able to see the original place where he made Kiddush, and he had in mind to eat in the other place. Okay? Both of these things have to be met.
So, if
to
both
see the
conditions
place,
are met,
and then and how you have in mind. If both conditions are met, you're within the same house, pretty much, then that's fine.
lechatchila, it's
Person
fine?
lechatchila, you could do that. Right. Now, let's say you have, Baruch Hashem, a big simcha, and there's a lot of people in the house. There are some in this room, there are some in that room. All the rooms are taken. Baruch Hashem. So, what's the best thing to do? They shouldn't come to your room to hear Kiddush and run back to the room to eat the meal there. Let them make Kiddush in their own room, right? Or just stay where you are in your room. And this guy should scream, should better have a loud voice, and make Kiddush so that the whole house should hear him. It's not a problem. right? Where they are, they're here in Kidush, and they're going to have the meal there. That is considered Kidush b'makom Seuda. How about if you are at a Shabbaton, and there is a huge room, everybody is sitting in the room, and the person says, sitting at his table, and he hears Kiddush, and then he says, you know what, I don't like these people sitting on my table. He goes, searches in the other corner of the room, and says, can I stay with you guys for the meal? Yeah, sure. So he's changing in the same room, but he's changing from one corner to the other corner, right? He could do it. It's not asur, because he could see where he was sitting, right? He didn't have intention, but he didn't leave the room. He could do it, but l'chatchila is not the best thing to do.
It's on the same table.
Right. Stay on the same table where you make Kiddush. That would be the best thing to do as far as this. The halachot of Kiddush when it comes to Seuda are complicated. There's a lot of halachot, but I think I picked these halachot because I think they would be the most relevant to different situations that happen.
So it doesn't matter how far, so if it's in the same room but it's one table over, does that make a difference?
It's better not. Again, he could do it. He could do it, but it's not al-chatchila. It should be in the place, literally in the place where you make Kiddush, that's where you should have your meal. That would be al-chatchila. But if he does it, again, we don't tell him, oh, you have to make Kiddush again. That we won't do. Because after all said and done, he could see the other place and it isn't the same.
Would he be able to start someplace eating and then?
Yeah, once he starts eating, and he had in mind, I'm going to go to the other side of the room, that's perfectly fine. But that would be Kidush Makom Seuda. We're dealing with Kidush Makom Seuda. Is this Kidush Makom Seuda? Yes, it is. Now, the next thing we'll discuss is the Seuda. So, Halachot, the person, like always, as we know, there's a huge mitzvah to eat the three Seudot, and with bread. So we do Netilat Yadayim as always, and we have to try to cut down the time between Netilat Yadayim to Hamotzi. And if there's a lot of people and there's nothing you could do, then it's not because they have sick, because you are busy with the same thing. But you just got to make sure that things run smooth, and as soon as they could do it, they should do it. If there is, Baruch Hashem, a lot of guests, it would be the best thing that each one should have their own little halot. So that would be the best thing. Right away they would wash and go make hamotzi. That would be great.
They need two.
You definitely need lechem mishneh. So you put one on each plate, and then they'll share. The people that came faster, they'll share, and they'll have enough thing. As we mentioned before, a few weeks ago, about these the chalot. Each one has to be at least a gazait. Each one has to be at least an ounce. Otherwise, it's not good enough for lechem mishneh. Now, then he holds on to the two chalot. As we mentioned before, chalot are you have to have in mind that you're doing lechem mishneh, like it says in the Torah that on Friday Hashem said, "I'll send you double portion of man for lechem mishneh." And while a person, this happens if ladies are making their own seuda, they should know this. While you're holding on to these two, right? You make hamotzi. You have to have kabbalistically all 10 fingers on the bread. Okay, all the 10 fingers should be on the bread. And while you're still holding on to them, you make a bracha. Don't let go of both breads. You should have both breads in hand while you are taking off from the challah. Once you did take the piece off, then you could let go of the second one to show that I have lechem mishneh. If a person makes a bracha on both and he puts one aside and then he starts taking from that one, it doesn't show that he had lechem mishneh. You want to have lechem mishneh that while he's taking the piece off. Okay? So what do people do? You make a bracha on the two chalot, and then you keep the other one attached to the other while you cut it, if you're in the mood of cutting. And then once you finish cutting a piece off, then you put the other one away, and that is fine. Some have a custom that they cut the bottom challah. Some have a custom that they cut the top challah, right? Some Ashkenazim They have a custom that at night they cut the bottom and on the day they cut the top. Okay? Bet Yosef Shulchan Aruch brings down from Kabbalah that we cut the bottom. Right? That's what it brings down. So, what's going on? Why so many different things? So there is a concept, it's called En Ma'avirin ala mitzvot. If you have a mitzvah in front of you, do that mitzvah which is in front of you. So you have a challah here, you have a challah on top. So you better cut the top one because that's the first one that you hit. That's the reason for those that say you cut the top one. The reason for those that say you cut the bottom one is Kabbalah. That's Kabbalah. They don't explain even the reason, right? And that's what the Bet Yosef says. However, Rabbi says, you want to do like this? Do like this. You want to do like this? Do like this. Either way, you're good to go. It's fine, right? However, if you want to cut the bottom one, make sure a little piece of the bottom one is sticking out and cut that one. This way you're not ma'avrin al insud, you're not skipping over. This was also sticking out, like, it's like this, sticking out. This is the top, this is the bottom, and you cut the bottom, which is sticking out, which is perfectly fine. But again, don't be angry at someone. You say, oh, well, he cut the top one or cut the bottom one or this and that. I've been to houses where they cut both. At the same time, it just goes through.
Are you supposed to hold it one on top and bottom? Because some people hold it just side by side.
I've seen that. I think I've seen that. I think Kaf HaChaim brings that opinion that you hold it next to one another. Some people hold it next to one another and then they turn it upside down. There's a whole, I don't know, don't ask. There's all types. Different Sepharim bring different things.
So there's not like one, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. But, try to pick one and stick to it. What I do is like what the Shulchan Aruch says. I always cut the bottom. Now.
Okay, so you hold them together until you cut the first one, then you don't need to hold them together.
That's it. Once you take a piece off the challah, then you don't have to. Then you can put the other one away. The idea is that you will need them both together to show that I have lechem mishneh, that I needed both for hamotzi and everything. That's the whole idea. If every person has lechem mishneh in front of them, they don't have to wait for the main person to eat, right? But if they don't have, and he's cutting, he didn't eat yet, right? And he's dispersing the chalot and everything. In the meantime, he didn't eat. They shouldn't pick up and eat before he ate, right? You can't do that. That's asur, because that would be hefsek. First, he has to eat. So the best thing, the smartest thing is, the person that's cutting, first take a little bite for yourself. This way, when you're giving it out to people, they could eat freely. They don't have to wait for you to eat. That would be the best thing to do. Throwing bread is asur. Gemara says that it's disrespectful to bread. A person should not throw bread, and he should just disperse it. But if he can reach it, so try to reach as far as you can without throwing, or even throwing a little bit is fine. And if it still doesn't do it, then give it to someone to give it to the other person. However, bread is not to be given in the other person's hand because that is a sign of avelut, right? Even if a person is avel on Shabbat, we don't give him because that would be a practice of mourning, which is asur on Shabbat, right?
Why do they give the avel of bread?
It's a pasuk. It says I forget what the pasuk is. That they learn from there that it's a sign of solidarity. It's a sign of oneness and unity. That they give to the avel that we're with you, basically like that. That's a halachah. But otherwise, we don't give bread to other people's hand. This happens with little kids. Parents want to give them a sandwich, so they give it to the hand. That's not good. You gotta put it in front of them. Let them take it.
Oh, really?
Right.
Ever? It's not just some Shabbat.
No, never. Whenever you make hamotzi, whenever you're eating, you make hamotzi, but giving bread to eat to someone, if you want to give them to pass, that's fine. But to put in the other person's hand is not a good thing.
What if it's wrapped? Still not okay?
If it's wrapped, I don't know. Good question. It's a good question. Just put it on the table. Put it on the table, put it on the plate.
Sometimes they'll fall apart.
Yeah, they fell apart.
Yeah, I know.
Hold it like that.
I guess when you gotta do it, when you have to do it, you have to do it. But it's they bring even for kids. The person should be careful giving a sandwich or everything. I saw someone even like cookies. Like, a person shouldn't give it. But I don't know. That might be too much. That's not bread. I don't think. I didn't see what Rabbi said, but okay. So in all 3 Seudot of Shabbat, a person should try to eat bread, right? Sometimes a person says, I'm full, so next Shabbat, be careful not to overeat in the previous meal so that you won't be so full. To eat more bread, try to do that. And now, the bread that we should try to eat a little bit more than a shiur of kibetzah. Kibetzah is 54 grams, which is 2 kezitim, which is 2 ounces, right? 2 ounces of bread. This way, when a person eats more than a kibetzah, this is considered a set meal, right? It's not a temporary meal. Like, less than that is considered temporary meal. But if a person has a hard time, it's hard. Some people are on a diet, they're not used to eating so much, and they could only eat even that 1 ounce, roughly. Fine. At least the person should eat a kazait, because without a kazait you cannot say birkat hamazon. However, if you are eating only a kazait, less than a kibetzah, if you're eating only 1 ounce, up to 2 ounces, then it's perfectly fine. It's okay. But don't make a baracha of anitat yadayim. You have to wash your hand properly, but do not make a baracha, and just dry your hands and sit down and have your challah.
That's if you're eating
A kazait or up to a kibetzah, right? Up to 2 ounces. Once you eat 2, kazait is not much. You'll be surprised. Kazait is not much. Depends on the density of the challah. Depends on.
How about pita? Let's say how much?
Pita depends on the pita.
If
it's those thick ones,
30 grams. That's you say how much?
the thick pitas. These things are 3.5 kezitim.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot. The thinner ones, one should be a kazait. Thin ones, one should be. You have to measure it. You have to check on the usually on the bag. Yeah, perfect. It says on the nutrition facts or whatever it is. It says you have to see the density of the challah or pita or whatever it is. It all really it's not so much. People think, oh no, I can't. You'd be surprised. Sometimes 1 slice of challah is already kibbutza.
But then do you say
Birkat hamazon? Once you eat a kazait, you definitely say birkat hamazon. The only thing is you just cannot make a baracha of anitat yadayim, right? If you're eating a kazait, that's during the week also, all the time. If a person eats only 1 ounce of bread, they have to wash. No baracha, but you have to make birkat hamazon. Now we have to try to eat the kazait. Some say within 4 minutes. Some say within. Rabbi says 7.5 minutes. If a person will eat the bread in more than 7.5 minutes, don't say birkat hamazon. All right.
So that to be the first 7.5 minutes.
First 7.5 minutes. First 7.5 minutes.
Goodness.
Right?
I thought throughout the
So
course
take a
of the-
watch. Put it no. Put it in front of you. 7.5. Look, Baruch Hashem. These days, in the way the meals are set, the way the meals are set these days, we have different salads and everything, and you eat. But really, like in 7.5 minutes. Why that? Because there's a question. Kedeh achilat pras. That's a shiur of time to eat half a loaf of bread. That was the measurement that was given. And there's a question, is it 4 minutes, is it 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes, 12 minutes? Rabbi says it is 7.5 minutes, and a person should try to eat that much, which is not much, within 7.5 minutes. We're putting a time strain, so it sounds, oh no, what are we going to do? But really, it's not that much, trust me.
So just one, so kazait in 7.5 minutes or kibbutz?
One kazait. This is in order that a person should say birkat hamazon, right? In order to say birkat hamazon, you need to eat the kazait within 7. I know people that their whole meal doesn't take more than 4 minutes. So, not on Shabbat.
So in general, if you're just like eating a sandwich, and it's like a big, and it takes you longer than 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes, you don't.
Not the whole sandwich, just the kazait of it. The kazait of that sandwich. Let's say you have a
it's
huge
small
hero sandwich.
But like the bread amount is not that much, but then
Right, you have to be careful.
in between.
You have to make sure that it's eaten within 7.5 minutes. If you can, you
So
can.
people could purposely just make it take long so they don't have.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, why would you not want to bench? Especially like
It's
how
very
to
No,
difficult
some
to
people,
bench.
some people don't want to do it.
Sometimes I don't eat bread just so I don't bench.
Yeah, people.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
right.
I don't
Shabbat.
have like kids are getting running around. I don't
Right, yeah. But I should like you want to
try.
All right. All right. Bezat Hashem. So we'll continue, inshallah.